It's the beginning of another weekend and a new month, so welcome to the show. Friday, I am Veronica Danik Boy. With me, as usual, are my lovely, beautiful co-host ladies. So welcome to the show this morning.
Excellent morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Did you guys plan it?
No, but then it matters
The pink
your
day,
Oh,
outfit,
yeah.
I guess.
Did
And
we
there's
plan
a
And I
it?
have a touch of pink.
Oh, wow.
And a touch.
Well, can we
Perhaps
say
that-
the 1st of February?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Pink
that's
has
our
to-
color for the month,
I
but it's
think,
supposed to be
a
the
love
love
month,
month,
yeah.
right? And red is the color.
Or blue. I had blue now.
Blue
It's
is the
main
color
color
now.
for love, yes.
Oh, really? Interesting.
That's boring.
Nima, you're not feeling yourself today. What's it?
It's work or driving. Let me first of all make a shout out to everybody living along the Badagry Expressway. We are survivors.
Yes.
We are on our own. We do not have a government that is working that cares about us. Our roads are bad, and every day we try to make a living legitimately. So shout out to all of us who have to sit in traffic while other people make business and park on the road, and government does nothing about it. Tomorrow I'll be speaking at the Ansarudin Youth commemoration of the Hijab Day. I'll be the keynote speaker for Hijab Day at the conference happening at Isolo. That's it. We walk. I'm just tired.
You're
Yeah,
tired.
well, I can
feel your
imagine,
tiredness.
yeah.
The entire month of February, actually. So upper weekend, I'm also hosting for Form 1. And, upper weekend again, just events and events.
Events. So,
So I'm ready, I'm getting
You're
ready.
already in the mood, and it's sapping a lot of energy.
Energy.
That's what has
I
happened to
watched
her
the
yesterday.
show
Oh my
from
God.
home.
All the energy.
Do we
so
want to
that's
talk
why
about
I
it?
was reeling with laughter. I said the only thing remaining for that show was for people to throw punches, honestly.
So you missed it yesterday.
It was fun. You guys had a good time.
So how was yesterday for you, since you were watching us from home?
Yesterday, work. I was shooting. I promised my fans that from the 1st of February, I'll be releasing relationship tips every day. So I've been working and making sure that I have my collection of videos. So I did that yesterday, and I'm really excited that today is the 1st of February. It's a new month. I'm happy that I was able to achieve my dreams, my goals for January. I even went overboard, and this month my son next week Friday will be 8 years old.
Wow.
So it's a good month for me. I'm just
Oh,
excited.
definitely.
Yeah, I'm just excited.
All right, Mariam.
Oh, okay. For me, I said February would be the month that I, go back on working out, eating clean and things like that. So yesterday I was up, and then I'm trying to get people, because I always get like DMs from people saying, what do you do? What do you eat? So I'm trying to get people on this journey. Let's do it together. However,
right?
yes. So I was up really late, and then I woke up very late, and of course, I had to do the workout because I've sort of committed myself. So I did my workout. Even though you're supposed to do like 4 rounds, I ended up doing 1 round because it's better to do 1 round than not to do it at all. Yeah.
So what if I want to join you in that your meal plan? I don't want to lose weight.
It's not a
I just
meal.
want to work on my abs.
No, I'm not giving anybody meal plans or anything. I'm just encouraging us. You already have your meal plans or whatever it is that you already do, and your workout.
You must
So
have
we're
had
we're
that.
just supporting each other.
other.
How are we
Okay.
going? What are you doing? And
Okay.
just
To keep
support
fit,
you to keep
to look
fit,
good.
to eat well, and then just maybe an advice to everyone: just drop out the sugar drinks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leave them aside. Just drink water this month. Let's try and drink water this month, and then
Lots of
put
water.
bread aside
Juices.
and put rice aside, and then let's eat
Ah.
everything.
Yeah,
as
What
a
do we
food.
eat?
If you can, but just have to make sure you drink water. Let's put the high-calorie drinks aside for this month, and then we'll see.
All right, let's quickly say this, that we commemorate World Hijab Day today. Its aim is to encourage women of all religious and ethnic backgrounds to wear and experience the hijab, that's the headscarf, like you can see on Nima, and to support those who wear it. And that's what Nima actually has said, that she's working on a lot of work for her this month, of course.
Today, there's also a press conference later.
Okay.
It starts at 10. So right after the show, I'm out of here.
Wow.
Nice one.
Anyway, when we return, we review the news headlines. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Let's head straight for the Punch newspapers this morning. And the screaming headline here says, PDP fumes as Niger Republic governors attend Buhari's campaign in Kano. Ganduje enjoys immunity, presumed innocent until proved guilty. That's the president. And we have pictures here of an accident scene that happened in Ojota yesterday, a really sad one there. Stock market investors lose 326 billion naira in 1 month. Impeachment, pro-Ambode group threatened to shut down Lagos Assembly. Rise and defend democracy, Obasanjo urges Nigerians. Angry constituents attack under federal lawmakers during Oshibajo's visit. Man sodomizes infects teenager with HIV in Lagos. This is bad. Well, Trader Money, INEC to investigate alleged campaign finance violation by the federal government. Manufacturers spent 246 billion naira on fueling generators in 2 years, manned as Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. APC PDP worthy of absolute rejection. That's Wole Soyinka speaking there. Hoodlums attack Agbaje campaign convoy in Lagos. CCT to resume honor against trial on February the 4th. Scores injured as APM supporters clash in Ogun. COP asks court to declare Buhari unfit to seek re-election. Let's start with this human angle story there.
Yeah, so the Lagos State Police Command has arrested a man called Prince Chinecherem. He's a 32-year-old man in the Ejigbo area, and he was arrested for allegedly sodomizing a 16-year-old and also infecting him with HIV. But story from the neighbors say they see this young boy come and visit this man often, but it just always seemed unusual. And so on this particular day, when he had left the teenager left the man's house or man's room, they accosted him. What are you doing there? Blah, blah, blah. Checked his bag, and then they found recently used condoms. And then he confessed that the man is his boyfriend. Hey. So they were taken to the police station, and they did tests on them, found that not only, it showed that yes, this person had been sodomized and over a period of time, but also that both of them are infected with HIV. Yeah.
Hey. Well, this is a terrible story.
What do we do about this?
And I remember we talking about that picture that we saw that Nima had to do a video on Instagram.
Wednesday, yeah.
Really, it's really sad.
And
really.
I say every day we talk about things like this. Every
and it keeps
day.
happening. So how do we? Okay, the opposition political parties have filed a suit against the federal government that they should declare our president unfit for re-election in the 2019 elections, which is just a few weeks away. Yeah. So they are also saying that they want him to declare his health status because they don't want to run the risk of re-electing him, and at the end of the day, he's being hijacked by the cabal, which his wife on a number of occasions have come out to say that the cabal are in charge of the runnings of the country. So I see this as a good development. This is democracy. If we're not trusting that our president is fine or is well based on what we've seen during his nationwide campaign, we have a right to ask questions, and I believe that they should, give us the health status. Let's be sure of what we're doing.
If it's required by law.
Is it required? That's what I was going to say.
They have filed the suit already,
if
so
it's
we're
waiting. If it's required by law, he should declare.
We should know who we are.
If it's, like she said, if it is required by law, of course, why not?
Well, I don't like frivolous suits. I think if it's not backed by law, they're wasting their time and money and the time of the court.
Of course.
Democracy, civil societies, they have
a job. This is politics, actually. That was politics.
A civil society. We must remember that. But let me quickly touch the story, the major headlines here, where it's a PDP fumes as Niger Republic governors attend Buhari's campaign in Kano. There was a campaign, the APC had a campaign in Kano, and some Niger Republic governors, two state governors attended the campaigns, and the PDP is reacting, saying that this invariably shows that we might be having foreign votes during the elections. And so Nigerians have to be... Okay.
I'd like that the PDP agreed that, INEC has over and over again tried to reassure that they've mopped up, they put down strategies of mopping up more, foreign citizens
some already
holding
PVCs.
Our PVCs.
Yeah.
They're watching them. They've collaborated with the Ministry of Internal, the immigrations and all that to try to curb this. They're doing enough. as it is.
All
She
right.
tries to heighten the polity by, alleging this kind of things.
Statements, anyway.
So they might be friends with people in the state or,
I
in
just
support
think
of
it is
government.
bad publicity. Why put their names? It was the
They were in attendance.
They were in attendance, so
were
they
in
could as well
attendance.
have
I mean,
published
you
the
just
names.
know that
They-
people
Anyway,
they
let's
do
move to
businesses
the
with
Nation now
Nigerians.
because we are running out of time. The Nation major headline: INEC clears Sanwo-Olu, Kashamu, Oga, others. APC will field candidates in Rivers, Zamfara. Well, Buhari in Kano, I'll continue to fulfill my promises. On August, CCT to resume hearing Monday. Suspected herdsmen kill woman. And why restructuring is key to unity by Akinriade. Presidency, time to change Nigeria is now, says Wale Soyinka. Duty waiver likely for Project 100. Paul Magu wants bankers. Eagle kits for launch next year. Can urges INEC to be neutral. Who has what story here?
Okay, so Buhari at Kano yesterday was, campaigning again and reassuring Nigerians. And then he added that, the Kano state governor, who all of us are asking that the Kano House of Assembly do the needful about, is innocent, is immune. Yeah, is immune and has not been proven to be guilty of, the allegations against him, hence his support for him, his continuous support for him. But we know as no governor is immune to the House of Assembly of the state. I would just leave it there.
All right.
Professor Wale Soyinka, we had an interactive session yesterday, and he's saying that the APC and the PDP is just like two sides of the same coin, and he will vote them out. He doesn't want, he wouldn't endorse endorse them for re-election, and we should look into, getting that a new force that will help bring us out of the problems we are facing as a country. That's basically what the story is about.
Quickly, we're running out of time. Daily Sun, Onoge opens up on foreign accounts. CGN's trial at CCT resumes February the 4th. NSA plans to shut down internet to aid rigging, Wike alleges. Wale Soyinka rejects Buhari Atiku as Obasanjo says democracy must be rescued. Buhari commends Hosa Okumbo for greenhouse farm project. Atiku promises to complete second Niger bridge restored. Delta Seaports Ohaneze suspends secretary over comments on Atiku's endorsement. Who has any story there?
Wike voluntarily, cleared the air about his foreign accounts, declaring that, the areas where he didn't declare were proceeds from him running a forex business online or something. And he said the agri-code is also one of them, and then his extra codes also make up another of the accounts, his euro accounts and all that, and that he had dollars at home before becoming CJN. At the time when there was a policy against foreign accounts, when it was lifted, he decided to put them in the bank. Basically,
do we have time quickly for River
yeah.
State here? So the River State governor is saying that the federal government is planning alongside with the NSA and the INEC to shut down internet services during the elections. And this is a way of rigging the elections so that people have to be aware that this is a plan that's ongoing.
All right,
I don't
New
know
Telegraph.
why.
Wale Soyinka, Buhari, Atiku not options for presidency in 2019. That's Wale Soyinka speaking there. INEC clears 1,066 candidates for Gubar election, exclude APC in Zamfara Rivers. APC Yari will be on the ballot. Well, persistent sore throat may be sign of cancer. Stock market loses 326 billion naira in January as sell-off deepens. Ogun 10 injured, vehicles destroyed as APC APM supporters clash. Abdurrahman, I'll end dominance of Saraki dynasty. Atunwa, you're an outsider. Kwara will vote for PDP. Bank prosecutors, farmers orders to recover 60 billion naira debt. Sodomy, 27-year-old man infects teenage boy with HIV.
Yeah, so the sore throat, there's some people that seem to have like a constant sore throat. So the Medical Association is saying if you have a constant sore throat or hoarse voice, and you need to have it checked because it might not just be sore throat. It could also be cancer, especially for those who chew tobacco and use alcohol, often.
All right, that's the much we can take from the newspaper headlines this morning. Next on Hot Topic, Toke Makinwa advises women being wooed by married men. Stay with us. We will be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, popular OAP Toke Makinwa has come with her advice again for ladies who are being chased by married men. According to her, when next you meet a guy who is confident to tell you to your face that, quote, I am married but available, chop his money and run away. What are your thoughts on this? Join the conversation on 070-800-8014. Tweet to us at TVC Connect with the hashtag YourViewTVC. Chop his money and run, but he's saying he is married. What kind of advice is that? You watched the video.
Yeah, so I watched the 5-minute video on YouTube, and I mean, immediately she said that in the video, I just knew something like that would happen. Someone was going to take that and make it a headline. But the thing is, she talked about married men, people married and living like they're single, or they'll come to you, they have the boldness to let you know, oh, I am married. She says that there used to be a time when men would even feel ashamed. They'll take their rings off or lie to you, and it will take a while before you even find out that this person is married. But now they come to you and say, yes, I'm married. They put up the pictures of the wife and the family and still say to you, I'm looking for love. So she said, then she now jokingly says, well, for people like that, that for people like that, you need to chop their money and run. But she says, to take that, and then she took it back. She says, what is more important is that it's your self-respect. It's not about chopping money, but it's about respect. That a person who can look at you and disrespect you that way, you know, does not deserve
wants
your time
you to take second place. But if you don't mind taking second place, she said that in the video, that's fine. So she was concerned. So that's
the advice she's
Yes,
given.
she was concerned about girls who are impressionable. You know, we have all these young women who really do not even understand themselves. And so she's saying, when a man can come boldly and say, okay, I have a wife, but I'm still looking for love with you, that means the man has disrespected you. But she now said, if you cannot, that what she does, she advises is you can block the man, stop talking to them and all of that, or better still, chop his money. But my problem with that chop his money is that a lot of young women, we pick that one. And we know that the Nigeria we are in today, no man releases money just like that without sampling. It was back in the days that, yes, you pursue a lady for a very long time, they do all the shakara, and then they don't, you know, you don't see anything, and then you are spending. Right now, before they spend a dime on you, they've collected something from you. So if we take out that chop money, a lot of people will want to use that as an opportunity to go ahead in that relationship.
And like we said behind the scenes, that a lot of people do not go beyond the headlines. They just look at that and pick it. And because of the kind of person she is, don't you think they will take that as,
you know, there was just one comment immediately that came out and tagged Toke, and she was like, oh, I like this advice, blah, blah, blah. And then she says, go and watch my video so you don't put yourself in trouble.
Honestly.
So that is not the message she was trying to put out there. But if now we're just talking, let's just talk about
generally.
Generally. I do think that it is disrespectful for someone who's already married to meet a single person and say to her, I'm looking for love. And then you give that person an opportunity to keep discussing, you know, with you. I think, as she advised, just block the person, don't speak to the person, tell the person off. There's nothing like chop his money, please. I mean, how much money is it? I always wonder, like, how much money can you get from?
Because she's been too quiet.
You know, we've gotten into a lot of wahala with all these people online, talking about Toke already. And for the first time, she's talking sense, so I really don't have anything to say against it.
About what she's saying.
But
how about men who still go out to look, married men who go out?
She said it's disrespect. It's clear disrespect.
But she chop his money.
So
No, would you return his gift?
would you return his gift? Why wouldn't you return his gift if you don't know you don't want to be disrespected?
Yeah.
You shouldn't even accept the gift in the first place.
That's an angle I like that.
Let's not pretend that everybody is moral. We know that cheating goes on. We know that young married men will still go out there tomorrow, even if we preach from now to tomorrow, to chase people. The people that are married as second, third, fourth wives, how did they come about it? There's a chasing somewhere, even when the man had a wife. So let's not forget that this is our society.
Be careful.
But if do not eat.
We are polygamists.
Do not, you see what we're saying? Do not eat. Do not smell. Religion. Do not smell what you don't have any intentions of eating. So if you don't have a problem being a second fiddle or being a second wife tomorrow, you can go ahead.
Yeah.
But if you have a problem and you take it as an insult that a married man is coming so that you be the second best, then you should run away. I do not
Right,
subscribe to eating somebody's money when you have no intentions of having anything to do with the person.
All right, let's hear a guy out. We have Yakub calling from Toke Makinwa. Welcome to the show, Yakub. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to the rest of the team in the studio.
Morning.
You see, Islamically, I don't think that is an insult. If a man married, and then he can be able to openly tell you that I'm married, and then I want to take you as a second wife, or as case may be, I'm looking for you as a love. Because I love you, I want to marry you. If you not decide that you want to chop his money, I can even tell you, as one of your co-hosts said earlier, you cannot even see any money to chop. Because these days, guys are not ready to spend money, as one of your co-hosts said earlier. Because if someone tells you, it is honesty that is put to you that I want to marry you as a second wife. If you cannot be able to take it as a second wife, take your leave or block it as case may be. But if you have it in mind that you want to chop his money, I can bet it on you. If you chop that money and then you don't want to give something else, the man can go to length and then take you. Because that is the truth. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you,
sir.
Yakub.
Yeah,
Now that's the religious aspect to it now.
Okay. I was looking at it also from the other side, which is if you do not create a market, you will not have, you know,
Customers,
Yes.
right?
So I'm saying you, the married man, this is living religion. That's for those who are supposed to be with one person, who have signed to be monogamous. So if you create the situation where you're the one creating the situation where someone thinks that they can chop your money, because in the first place you're not meant to be out there seeking love, you know, when you have your family. But if you want to do it, if it's seeking love, you can have a discussion with the wife at home and say, okay, I'm on my way out seeking love. Can you help me pick
the love?
Yes, can you help me pick somebody? Maybe it will make sense.
That's a different arrangement. No, there are people who practice that, actually. There are people who practice that.
That for my grandfather.
Oh,
It's
wow.
happened. Yeah, it's happened.
Wow.
So she had only one boy and she was feeling that, you know, it wasn't sufficient. She wanted her husband to have more boys and she married
She
the
got
herself.
a,
Yes, I know
wow.
it happened.
Let's quickly
maternal
hear Gbenga
grandmother.
out, calling from Toke Makinwa, I believe.
Yes,
Welcome to
good
the
morning.
show. Good morning.
Calling from it.
All right. Speak up, please.
I wanted to say that basically, one of the things we should try to do in our time is that, okay, I'm a Christian, I will talk in that light. One of my no.
Gbenga?
Oh.
Well, the lines are muddled up. We can't really hear you, but if you can, do call us again before, you know, we wrap up this topic. Yes, who was speaking?
In the East, this is done. It's normal to, you know, tell your wife that I'm interested in somebody else, or I'm liking your friend, and your wife will now arrange. At least they will say it's better. Yes, they will say it's better you stay within the family, or you stay within the people I know and can control, than you going to get a total stranger to come and oppress me. So it's something we know in. You're from Kogi. It's something we do in Africa.
They do it
everywhere.
blatantly. In the place where she's from.
No.
It's blatantly
No, she
done.
told me this one that they
which
don't.
area of
Where
Kogi are
I
you
am
from?
from,
Where are you?
I
Which
don't
area of
get
Kogi
that
are you from?
vibe.
Where, which
Is it a
area of
vibe?
Kogi are
Is
you
it a vibe?
from? No, inform me now that I don't know Nigeria well.
I don't get that vibe where I am from. There are
Relax.
different, you know,
See,
localities in
Veronica,
Kogi
the truth
State.
is, if you look within very well, you'll find. I just told you my grandmother's story of how he was done those days. It was something I couldn't have believed was possible, but if you check within your home or within your extended family, you find a story like that. It was the norm in those days of how people married other wives. You go, you rather than have a competition you can't deal with, you find a familiar face you can cope with.
Okay. All right, quickly before you speak, Mariam, we have Okpara calling from Abuja, I believe. Welcome to the show, Okpara.
Hello.
Yes, hi.
Hello.
Hi, we can hear you.
Yes, actually, I want to contribute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, this Muslim lady there
Nima.
was Nema Kachat.
Nima.
Yes, Akachat. I just want to direct my, my contribution to her. Even if she's fully a IPC member, but I strongly believe that TVC should be neutral.
Okay.
The way and manner she talks, she makes her own position known. It's very clear that she's in full support of APC. But that shouldn't be in this station. Because a lot of people are
Opera,
complaining.
the discussion, you are going away from the discussion. If your contribution should be based on what we are discussing, so but you can call back
Conversation,
again,
in the
perhaps
conversation of,
after the
Maureen,
show, to
all
speak
that.
to ask
Can
to
you
speak
hear
with
me?
Nima.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Opera. You
Okay,
wanted
so
to say something?
yes, I think the main, let's not move away from the main message that Toke was trying to say, because I remember when we were in university, secondary, you would have some girls who used to feel rather hot with themselves, that
Of
they
course.
got, what did you say? They got asked out by married men. So it was something to sort of be proud about and be proud of. So it is good to have this message out there and say, it is not, don't be proud of it. It is disrespectful to you that a man who already, yes, as a young girl growing up, that a man who already has his life put together now comes here and tells you stories. It's not something you should feel proud about.
Back
really.
in my school, they used to hide it. Like, we know those girls who go after married men because they carry all the designer bags, they have all the flashy clothes and all of that. But they used to, they hide it from those that have student boyfriends and who are not into that, because they want you to have that impression that they are still good girls. They see those ones as the good girls and they hide it. So it's not something even when you call them, we know you're a Ron's girl, they take it very personal. Like, you don't know that. Do you understand? So it's not something to be proud of.
But a Ron's girl is different from a girl who feels like she's in a loving relationship with a married man.
That
A
has
Ron's
a
girl
wife.
is
Same thing as far as I'm
is
concerned.
a Ron's girl sees it like a commercial thing. She goes so that she can get a bag, shoe, this.
Whatever
But then there are
she
some people who
wants.
feel that it's a
They are in
loving,
love.
this is a loving relationship. So this makes me different from this girl.
Man, no.
So
As long as he's married, we are doing wrong.
But whichever way we look at it, I think that for a young lady, it is some sort of disrespect, except where religious is concerned.
Yeah.
It is some sort of disrespect to you. Now, when we come back, our celebrity guest takes the couch. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Tweet us at TVC Connect with the hashtag YourViewTVC. I'm actually wearing one of his
yes,
designs.
that's why
and
you need to
it's
say that.
Stand.
Stand, please,
It's so
Veronica.
beautiful. Oh, now my microphones will not allow me to stand.
It's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
You can't
and
dress
it fits well
Yes,
on me.
first of all, I need to say I wasn't too happy. That was
That
only
she was-
Veronica.
Yeah.
God.
I registered
That's
my
it.
complaint
Yes,
to Yeni.
please. My see, this is actually, it looks pink, right? But it's actually
Can you just drink water?
No, we're not drinking water.
Just drink
We're not
water.
happy.
I promise next time I'll make sure that you're very
All right, it's good to have you here.
Thank
I'm
you.
sure a lot of people do not know who Adebakare is behind the designs, who you really are, your person, everything about you growing up. Who Adebakare is, tell us.
So I'm a fashion designer, live in England, but also have a base here in Nigeria. I went to secondary school here in Nigeria, went to Federal Government College, Lagos.
Oh, wow.
Then also did university here, University of Lagos, studied history. Then went back to England to go and study fashion design, and I was born in England, so I came to do secondary. And because I'd always wanted to study fashion design, even when I was in university. So my mom had said, you study it like any profession, because it's a profession. And I think in Nigeria there's a tendency to take it as a hobby.
Yeah.
Yes.
There
And,
used to be a time.
yes. So I went to study, then graduated, and then set up my business.
Wow.
And yeah, so
That
it's been
explains the success.
So why did you decide to set up in England?
England, yeah.
Oh, because I'd studied there, I sort of had
You
grown up
there.
there, yeah. And then when I graduated, I went to London, because I actually graduated in Manchester. I went to London and I got a loan from the Prince of Wales Trust.
Oh.
Yes, so that's how I started.
So how did you, now you have a business in England, you have a business in Nigeria.
Yes.
So because I see a lot of fashion designing. I tried to get into that business at some point.
Oh.
And it wasn't easy because we don't have the facilities on ground. At the end of the day, the clothes are quite expensive for that's if you get quality, it's
Yes.
very expensive. And people are like, why don't I just go to the market and buy all these China wares, which is cheaper, I can get as much.
Yes.
You know, so how do you compare the challenges you face having a business in England and the support you have with the government compared to what we have here?
I think in England, it's more or less like a developed society, so everything tends to work sort of quite well. But it's very saturated in terms of the fact that a lot of designers offering this very good quality products. And what I find coming to Nigeria is that there's a lot of scope here, and there's a lot of room for development. And Nigerians themselves are also very fashionable. There are a lot of countries all over the world, and they're not necessarily very fashionable people. So, yes, so sales might not always be that high. But what I find in Nigeria, that, you know, it's a very fashionable society. So people sort of love clothes, and so it's almost like a fertile ground. And what I try to encourage upcoming designers is that they should get some form of training, even if they can't go to school, at least train with a fashion house. But don't just sort of say because I've got an eye for fashion.
That's
for
why I'll
business.
come in.
Yes.
If you were based entirely in Nigeria, by now you should have a fashion school. All these actresses now have one theatre school or other, you know, trying to train new people in the same business. How are you doing that in your field? And, you know, if there's a school, how can someone come in?
Okay, so we do have a fashion academy. We set it up 2 years ago, and we focus a lot on fashion designing, pattern cutting and tailoring, because people don't understand that fashion design is to do with ideas. One of the major differences between having a tailor and a fashion designer is the ideas. The tailor will put everything together. You know, you can even give him photographs of what you want. But when you go to a fashion designer, you should be going to them for their own ideas, and you should have your own style, your own brand. And that's what we try to emphasize when I do the fashion school. We emphasize a lot that designing is very important. And then also patterns, because what you find is that a lot of the times when people go to their tailors and they have things made, might not fit properly. And then the more they adjust it, the worse it becomes. But that's because they're not using patterns. Yes. So if you use patterns, then it tends to fit properly.
Okay, so your brand, is it designer, like high-end designer, or is it, you know, high street, we go in? And the reason I'm asking is sometimes I feel that maybe Nigerians, we don't have a lot of people that can afford, I mean, we know of the Gucci, we know all those, you know, high-end designer names. And many Nigerians can't afford those. So we go for like
China versions.
Not necessarily China versions. We have like the Nigerian versions of those designs.
Abba.
Yes. So I know your design is more high-end, but how are you able to sustain that? No, how are you able to sustain that with the Nigerian market, Nigerian economy?
So when we set up here in Nigeria, initially everything was actually brought into Nigeria, to Nigeria from England, from my manufacturers in England, and then I started to understand the Nigerian market and the demand, and then we created a ready-to-wear line. So with our shop in VI, you can come to the shop and pick something off the rail. Like, so what you've got on is part of the ready-to-wear line. So we do a lot of kaftan, bubos, dresses, different sizes, because yes, the couture is limiting, and it's a big issue now, especially in Nigeria, whereby people say the designers only cater for the 1% of the market. What's happening to, you know, to the people who know about
and
you?
does it even make sense business-wise?
No,
to just cater for 1%?
Yes, exactly. So a lot of designers now are doing ready-to-wear lines, and I think they sell them online. But we have a ready-to-wear line, and hopefully we're opening a shop in Lekki next week.
Nice.
So that's facing the road, whereby people can see. Because a lot of times people don't know.
So you are seen as a household name in the fashion industry. Now, before you started, this is an industry that is seen to be a female-dominated industry. Now, what inspired you wanting to break into, you know, this industry, and also what inspires your designs?
So when you go to fashion school and you study, you're taught all facets of fashion designing. So menswear, women's wear, bridal wear, uniforms for restaurants, hotels, and I've been able to do all that. So what you do is that when you graduate, you then specialize. Now, I felt that I can express my creativity more with women's wear because women can wear basically everything a man can and more. So you can be more creative with women's wear, and then also women buy more. You know, so from a business perspective.
So that means, in your
Yes.
opinion, do you think that a woman's age and the fact that she's a mother should determine her fashion? Because we hear a lot of people say to some people, like, how can she wear that? And she's a mother or she's a wife. As a fashion designer, you're the one that sort of writes the rules. What do you think?
I think it's to do with the body and being demure. I do couture a lot, which is really more about the elegance and the expression of the style and the fabrics rather than showing the body. Some designers do that, but I prefer sort of something very elegant so that when you see it, you appreciate. So even if a lady is covered from head to toe, but beautiful fabrics, beautiful design, beautiful cuts. But I think it's a personal choice. It depends on what the lady is comfortable with. But I think in certain societies, maybe exposing too much flesh is
So I wanted to ask.
Hang on, ladies. We have Barakat on the line calling from Aja. Welcome to the show, Barakat.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Auntie Nema.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am. Please, I want to make a personal request from your guest. Please, I don't know if they can get my number after the show. My 11-year-old girl has always had passion for fashion designing. So I don't know if I can get his number because I don't want her to go locally. Please.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. So I guess you have to call back.
Oh yes, because what happens a lot, especially with the shop in Nigeria, a lot of women, like the ladies speaking, say their children are interested in fashion. And so what I always say is let them spend the day, like a Saturday, and then that way they see what we do, how, you know, what we design, how we relate with clients. Because a lot of the time, children are curious, but then when they're faced with the reality, then the passion might leave.
I know that feeling.
I wanted to ask that, you know, look, I wanted to pick from your mind. What was it from your child? Because to manage a business in an area that is strange for men, to be steadfast and grow a business, a brand name today, like the one you have, is not something that will be easy. So I was wondering, what would your background have been like, your childhood have been like, to inspire that, you know, that steadfastness, and you know, resilience to continue?
I think I was very, very fortunate to have parents who encouraged me, especially my mom, so that even at an early age of like sort of maybe 8, 9, she bought me fashion magazines to go through. So that even throughout when I was in secondary school, I think everybody knew they wanted to be a fashion designer.
She didn't find it strange in those days when everybody wanted to be a lawyer.
No, because I think she came from a very educated family.
How old do you think he is?
My parents wanted me to be a lawyer.
She came from a very educated family. Like her father was a principal.
Wow.
So she'd always known that education is key. So whatever it is you want to do in life, you must study it. So I wasn't even allowed. I was very curious then. Even when I was in secondary school, I wanted to go to the tailor down the road and learn. And she said, no, you go to university. Wow. This is Nigeria. If you don't go to university, you'll be considered to be like a dropout. Yes, she's very strict. Thing like
and
that.
your dad never opposed?
No, which was good because some fathers can oppose. So where he was good is that he didn't oppose. So I went to university, and it was good going to university because that's why most of the things I do, like the silk adire and using of the ashoke, I studied history, so I do a lot of research, and that comes across. So no knowledge is wasted. But I sometimes feel if I stayed in England and didn't come to Nigeria, I would have gone to fashion school from secondary school because it's a degree course. Do you understand? Yes. So when I now went back to England to go and study it, I was like a mature student because I'd done 4 years. And so they all said, oh, why did you have to go to university and study history and then now you're coming back to study fashion? Why not just do it after you finished from secondary school, which is the norm there. Yes. You know, and the earlier you start at something, the more...
The better.
Yes.
Can I go? Quickly, we have Comfort on the line. Welcome to the show, Comfort. Comfort, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead with your contribution now.
Yes, I have a question to ask the fashion designer.
Okay.
About what the lady on the left said.
about married women, how they dress, and how people in our society see them. You know, each time you wear something, feeling you're comfortable with it, but others see you like
You should be tying wrapper.
as a mother. You're not supposed to dress like that. So I'm worried, sort of. So can he explain more? As in, is it wrong for a mom to dress like maybe classy or look good?
All right. Thank you,
Because
Comfort.
she wants to know if you would cater for a mom who was eccentric like Madam.
Actually, what she's saying that is it wrong for women,
because
like
here
she
we
said,
are conservative
to dress to look good?
And you
Is it
Buba
wrong?
will be
She
for
wants you
married
to address it, but we'll address that when we return from the break. To stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for staying with us. We still have our guest in the studio, and there was a question that was asked about, you know, women expected to look in a certain way, conservative manner, but shouldn't women look good? That was, I
when
think,
they feel comfortable.
when they
with,
feel
even
comfortable.
though-
That was what we're arguing about. Anyway, she wants you to address that.
I feel it's, like I said, it's a personal thing. You have to look at the environment you're in, what's usually acceptable. So maybe a married woman shouldn't go around showing her midriff, you know. But I feel that
even
just...
if it's toned,
even if it's...
You're comfortable showing off.
I think it's a personal thing, yeah. But it's all about body beautiful, and if you've got a body
What would you
beautiful...
advise a married woman who wasn't toned, all those names they call them, and they came to you and to consult on, you know, a proper dress you wanted to make for them? What would you advise?
I would say that she should... I don't know, maybe check with her husband to see if he's comfortable. But I give a very famous story. There's a client of mine, Mrs. Lanre Ojora, and she said before she got married, she always used to wear short skirts, because I always speak with a lot of my clients and find out, you know, their lifestyles and things like that. But then when she got married, she started wearing longer skirts. And her husband said, no, when I married you, I liked you, you know, wearing short skirts to see your legs. So stick with that.
All right, so okay, yes, you wanted to ask a question.
Now we have different cultures. You know, you go to places like China, India, even in their new, even while they are conforming to the new fashion, they maintain that tradition. They maintain the culture in their dresses. You can see that. Even in their offices. But here, we sort of like abandon our culture. Hold on. You don't wear Ankara on Mondays. Yes. You don't wear Ankara on Mondays to work. So do we get to a point where we, you know, celebrate ourselves as Africans and, you know, design things with our fabrics that we can wear to work and not being stereotyped with the suits and...
Yes.
Are we?
No, definitely, and I think that's going to happen. I think you see a lot of that. It started maybe on the Friday dressing, but gradually you see it being introduced more. Yes, it's true, like when you go to the Middle East, they always wear their kaftans and hijab. They look beautiful
even
in
in their offices.
We've been colonized by the West, by English, so we have a lot of Western influences. But I think that's the designer's challenge, for the designer to come up with things that have an African influence that represents us, that can then be worn anytime.
Okay, so I was saying...
Okay, sorry, let me quickly ask this question. There are so many designers. We know, what stands you out amongst? Yes, what makes Adebakare Adebakare?
Okay. With fashion designing, a designer has to be, I think, for about 8 to 10 years, and then gradually you build up a style. Now, your style is made up of things that you've produced, that you've been popular for, and everybody seems to like. So you stick with that style and it becomes known to you. So it takes time to build up a style. Like when you see Chanel, it's taken them time, you know, Valentino, Versace, they all have a look. It takes years.
Wow.
It's not overnight.
Wow. Okay.
And you just have to be tenacious and stick with it.
Okay,
we have Atta on the line. Okay, it's gone off.
I was just saying when she was asking the question, that I do not agree that Africans, we do not infuse. In fact, I think we do that a lot more now. I would not think it's a question we would ask
on Mondays. I'm talking
no,
about
no, listen.
proper corporate organizations
Where-
adopting
No, what I'm saying is
outfits
that
for work.
it's very now how I see fashion, how I see it. Sorry, I'm just saying that I see a lot of Africanness infused in our fashion, and I see it also being imported or is it exported?
Exported,
You know, you
exported.
see them on the runways,
Yes.
fabrics and our styles. I see them all the time.
What Obedulu is saying is
we're
what is
not saying
obvious.
the same
it's not a
thing, yeah.
Monday
Okay,
to Friday.
Yes.
Can I address? Yes. One thing you've got to remember is because with Nigeria, English speaking, we're very exposed to the West. English speaking, as in like America, which is one of the world leaders. When I went to Equatorial Guinea and Morocco recently, when I was invited to do shows, I noticed that a lot of the francophone African countries have imbibed
Already,
African prints and wearing those things to work for
That's what I'm
decades.
saying, yeah.
We're just coming into it recently.
yes,
In the
yes,
80s,
very
everything was ready-made, imported things.
Yeah.
But the francophone countries, because they're not so predisposed to America, which is the world leader, not very influenced, so they still imbibe their own culture.
Yes.
So like, even you'd be surprised, like in Senegal, they show their bodies.
Yeah.
The women show, it's like, it's not nudity, but it's not sort of African to also cover up totally.
Exactly,
Maybe
yeah. Part of their
the
culture.
religion came into it
Yeah.
later. But generally, a lot of the... So basically, I think we're still developing there. But the Francophone countries have already been there, and they wear all these things to work, and they embrace it
So
more.
my
Very
own, sorry, let me
exposed.
just add this. So where I was going is that for me, what I
Need
see
to be
that's
fast
a
because
big
we are running
difference
out
with
of
the African European is that we do the fashion shows or the fashion collections for spring, summer, winter, autumn, and I'm like, this is Africa. We have our own seasons are like rainy season, Harmattan. It would be nice to see collections like that.
Based on
instead.
that, yeah.
Collection.
I totally
Harmattan
agree.
collections.
Yes, I totally agree.
Ade, you're very, very exposed. And recently, I watch Fashion TV where I see Giorgio, I think, recently had a Muslim
Okay.
compliance fashion collection that he did. A lot of them, Hariri, and their clothes are quite expensive, but they are there. They're catering for this large market that everybody is not seeing. Do you have any such market, or would you cater? Because like today is World Hijab Day. If someone rich enough walks into your shop and says, this is how
I want
I want a Nima look, how would you give her?
we do have it, because I've got a shop in Abuja, and a lot of the northerners there always want clothes that sort of Sharia compliant. So we always design the kaftan and bubbles with a headscarf. But, you know, make it in a much more interesting way. The way we wear just the shirts and the trousers and things like that is the way the ladies in the north wear the bubbles. It's an everyday item for them. So it doesn't necessarily have to be over expensive. But what I found looking at them and doing my research is that they're very open to stylish ideas, which you can do and still covered. So yes, we do that.
All right, so before we let you go, I want us to quickly find this out from you. Was there a point in your career that you thought of giving up? And what were the major high points?
That I always get asked that a lot. But for me, I've always said it's fashion or nothing. And I think, so that's what's gotten me through, because you have to be very tenacious and, you know, sort of very prayerful, because it's not an easy business. There are easier ways of making business. I always say with the contracts that I have in Nigeria, I could easily close tomorrow and just do contracts and still make a lot of money. But I like what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. And when people say they always want to be fashion designers, come to me for advice, I always say, what's your passion? What is it that you'd actually do even if you don't get paid for it? And I like designing because, you know, like I got called to design for Virgin Nigeria.
You are designing for Battleground as well.
Yes, we
the
designed for
TV
Battleground.
series.
And,
Fine designs
you
are
know,
really
for
lovely.
the wheat baker, the hotel
Huge,
uniforms. So, you know, there's so much scope in designing that you can sort
So
of
what
get
advice
involved
then
in.
would you give to upcoming designers? You've seen that the industry, what future do you foresee?
I think the government has to intervene too, because we don't have a lot of fashion schools in Nigeria on a government level. In England, they have over 600 government design schools. I don't think we even have up to 10. You know, so we need, and then the universities need to create a department whereby fashion designing can be studied to a degree level, you know, for 4 years.
Veronica, I think we
But
also
it has a
forgot to
cost.
say you also have perfumes.
Yes,
And
we
I
have
think
a fragrance.
Breeze, breeze. But then there's
Breeze, and then
little or
there's
no
a signature
time.
one that
Bakari's
you
signature,
just,
yeah.
yeah.
Yes, there's little or no time to talk about that because we need to run out of the studio now.
Must
But
have you
thank
back.
you. Thank you for your time. I'm sure as you are coming back, they'll be waiting for their clothes. You cannot take this from me. You cannot take this from me. But thank you so much for this. It feels so cool. I feel I can sleep with it. Actually, thank you so much, Adi Bakari, for
meant to
coming.
go out with it.
Well, thank you so much for watching. You can watch the repeat of Your View by 11 p.m. We hope you enjoyed the show today. Thank you so much. Bye now.
Bye.